Welcome to Daily Travels. Today we are set to visit some of the Yucatan Peninsula's greatest treasures. Chichen Itza, Valladolid, Cenotes, and Balam all in one full and fantastic day. Our first destination, one of the new 7 wonders of the world, the majestic Chichen Itza.
Here we're at El Castillo, the name the Spanish gave to this incredible monument that stands 98.5 feet to the top. They named it that because they thought it resembled a European castle. Truly an amazing achievement by the Mayans. The temple is quite steep. I suppose the Mayans used to climb it. I wouldn't have so much problem getting up, but it'd be a little tricky getting down. El Castillo is famous for the lighting that happens twice a year on both the spring and fall solstice. Part of the temple that blocks the light, and the result is a shadow that forms a serpent, and at the bottom of that shadow is this serpent head. On the side of the El Castillo, you can practice some fun clapping. It makes an incredible sound. As you move past the El Castillo, the Temple of Warriors. The columns surrounding or guarding the Temple of Warriors have carvings of warriors in them. Over 300 warriors carved. One thing you'll notice is some amazing sounds coming from the jungle.
Getting out early, you're rewarded with less crowds and the morning sounds of the Yucatan jungle. It's about a 2.5-hour drive from Cancun to Chichen Itza, so you can take a group tour, rent a car, or hire a private driver. For us, hiring a private driver allowed us to keep the schedule we preferred while relaxing between stops and after a full day of adventure. Be sure to check out the time zones. We gained an hour driving from Cancun. The ball court at Chichen Itza is truly an incredible sight, the largest in Mesoamerica. It appears this game was played side to side. You'll notice the rings high up on the wall on either side of the court. It's believed that players would attempt to get a solid rubber ball through these rings without using their hands. Now, most intriguing would be the ritual significance that these games held. It's been speculated by some that the losers and by others that the winners of the game were sacrificed. Well, speaking of sacrifices, head on over to sacred Cenote, where some believe Mayan sacrifices occurred. Others dispute such stories. One thing you'll notice is this cenote doesn't have the clear water that many others in Yucatan have. In fact, we heard one local call this the guacamole bowl.
Here we are at the observatory. Some of the stones are carefully positioned and the windows in order to be really a map for the stars.
There is much to see and much to learn at the ruins at Chichen Itza. To make the most of your time here, I recommend either a great tour guide or great resource map. Tour guides, if you don't already have one, can be hired at the site. And if you're going to go solo, I recommend Map-Chick Maps. And with that, we're off. After spending the morning at the ruins at Chichen Itza, we're ready for lunch. and no better place than the colonial town of Valladolid. Valladolid is a 45-minute drive from Chichen Itza and home to many great restaurants, boutique hotels, and cenotes.
Here we are at Oasis Familiar, and they brought us some appetizers. Look wonderful. Some authentic Yucatan food.
After a satisfying lunch, we're off to explore the town. Valladolid has an amazing yet turbulent history. You can take in some of this history through its buildings. Of particular interest is the colonial era architecture that still remains. Francisco Canton Rosado Park at the main square is a great place to enjoy an afternoon having a good conversation in one of these unique chairs. If you're here on a Sunday, come to this main square for music and dancing in the morning and in the evening. And right next to the main square, San Gervasio Church, full of history and a great place for a photograph. Next up, a cenote. These are formed when the earth below falls into an underground river. Quite abundant around the Yucatan, there's several great options around Valladolid. They might not look like much above ground, but as you travel below, the view you'll find is breathtaking. This is Cenote Samula, a highly photographed cenote where you can swim, but no diving. Now going to Eshkikin, named after the wild boar. Another great cenote outside Valladolid. If you're up for it, take a swim in the cenote. After our dip in the cenote, we dried off and headed on over to Balam. Balam, another great ruin site, a place where you can get out and still explore on the ruins. You can often find Balam amazingly quiet compared to some of the other ruins like Chichen Itza or Tulum. Pack a Gatorade because the climb to the summit of this ruin is quite a hike. As you're facing the ruin, about halfway up on the left side, you can stop and take a look at some of the restoration work they're doing. Make your way all the way to the top. You're rewarded with an incredible view. Thank you for joining us on our travels through the Yucatan, from Chichen Itza to Balam. We leave you with this view. What a view and what a reminder of our magnificent Creator. One of the greatest feats of the Mayans probably was using this observatory to help them make the calendar which would predict the end of the world.
I thought I heard a jaguar.